Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we have some huge Liverpool news regarding a deal that is getting closer and closer to a conclusion. We will look into that today, whilst also looking over all the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. But before we do, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. So getting straight into today's video, we have a huge injury update regarding Jayden Danns. So if you didn't know, Jayden Danns has really had it hard the past year or so. Obviously, he got a loan move to Sunderland after a couple of promising cup performances for Liverpool. He got a loan move to Sunderland and he didn't actually play. He suffered from a really bad back injury, I believe it was, that left him out for some time. He did his rehabilitation at Liverpool, and then I believe he picked up another injury not long after returning. So things really haven't worked out for Jayden Danns over the past year. And it's such a shame, really, because Jayden Danns did look like a very, very promising young player, and I believe he is still very young. Oh yeah, 19 years old, so he's still got a lot of time to develop, but it's just really unfortunate. Such a young, promising player is hit with so many horrible injuries so early on in his career, and let's just hope he can recover properly and really develop into the player he could be. So let's have a read of this today. Liverpool striker Jayden Danns is nearing a return from injury, which was first feared to rule him out from the majority of the campaign, with speculation over a January loan. So yeah, he's been sidelined since September with a hamstring injury. So he came back from the back injury, I believe it was, when he was at Sunderland on loan. And then he pulled up taking a free kick with a hamstring injury. So he's been out for a good few months. But it's good that he's coming back. If they feared it was going to leave him out for the full season, that must have been a bad one. It was indicated the 19-year-old's issues was a serious tear and he would undergo surgery to correct the problem. Okay, so that's not good. Like, especially 19 years old, that is not ideal. But he has begun ball work outside the AXA training centre and is considered ahead of schedule when it comes to recovery, which is great news. I'd love to see Jayden Danns hit the potential he has because he's unbelievable. And he could honestly be such an important player for Liverpool in the future if he manages to find some fitness or somewhere else, really. Like, I can see this guy as a top Premier League striker if he can find consistent fitness. Liverpool will, however, remain cautious with the player who has struggled with persistent injuries since his breakthrough to the first team setup. A return is slated for early next year and will likely come first with the under-21s rather than early slot senior squad, which is understandable. You know, you want to start with a lower intensity game than going up to the first team, because sometimes that is the big issue with young players. Sometimes is they just cannot keep up with the physicality of the men's game. As it says here, Danns already wanted for January loan. See what it says. Danns officially joined Sunderland on a half-season loan in the winter window last term, but did not even move to the northeast. He stayed in Merseyside. Rehab and a back injury, yes, like I said. It stands to reason other Champions League sides would be eager to sign a player as he's a proven talent with vast potential. However, Liverpool will be mindful of throwing him into the deep end so soon after another injury, which makes complete sense. And honestly, I cannot see him leaving on loan in the winter. I think it makes a lot more sense to keep him about the club and really make sure this injury has gone away. So, let's get into our main story today, and it appears a deal is very, very close from being completed. Obviously, the January transfer window is just around the corner. Lots of players out of contract, and lots of deals hopefully done for the Reds. And we're going to start off with Ibrahima Konate, this is confirmed by Lewis Steele, which is an incredibly reliable source in the Liverpool space. Coming from Anfield sector, who have given it the green light. If you didn't know, Anfield sector do a green, amber, and red. If it's green, it's a very reliable source, and it's most likely true. So Lewis Steele here is fully confirmed. Liverpool remain committed to renewing Ibrahima Konate's contract. Other clubs remain interested in him, and Liverpool are still in active talks to try and sort out his future, and will do so if a deal can be struck. So, there's a lot to really take in here from such a short post. Ibrahima Konate has been horrendous this season. And you see this a lot with players who are out of contract. We saw it with Trent last season, where they just really drop off on form. However, Trent did pick up for a period of time. Konate so far has been shocking, and the way it's going, he shouldn't be in the first team, really. He should be far away from it, and we should be looking at signing a new defender in January. We should be looking at going after a Mark Guehi or a Schlotterbeck from Borussia Dortmund. But yeah, things really aren't going well for Konate at the minute. Whether it's a system issue, whether it's an attitude issue, we don't know. All we know is that he's not been good enough. So we'll just have to see if he can pick up his form. But if he can pick up his form again, yeah, give him a 2-year contract, sell him in the summer. Or give him a 2-year contract, sell him next year. The issue is, I believe, Konate is wanting really ridiculous salaries, which don't add up to what he gives Liverpool in terms of his form. I remember reading, I believe it was in January, that he was after around £200,000, which would make him one of the highest paid players at Liverpool. It's reported he's on like £80,000 to £100,000 at the minute. So it's a big increase, and I don't think he's worth it. I really don't, and I'm really starting to doubt his potential, really. But even if he is, even if he does reach the potential he was touted to reach, I think if this is an attitude problem, where it's like he's not playing well because he wants to move away, which, like I said, a lot of players do. Look at Trent, perfect example. If that is the case, then I do not want this guy at the club. Simple as that. He should not be getting 200 grand a week. However, if it is a system issue or a problem with slot, which is very, very likely, then I think maybe he could be worth the money he is demanding. However, in a successful negotiation, nobody really gets what they want. So it might be a case of settling at 150 grand a week, which I believe is reasonable. So we'll just have to see where this one goes. But I'd be interested to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. So let me know, should Konate get a new deal? Put it down in the comment section below. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.